This week, we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to be answering all of your questions, all the questions that I've been sent recently because of these videos on what it's like to live here in Kansas City, what the market is like, and what it's like to buy a home in general right now, right after the intro. I'm Ben Miller, and I'm your guide. I am your spiritual guide to everything Kansas City. What it's like to eat, breathe, sleep, drink, buy, sell, whatever you need. I got you covered right here every Friday, 6 p.m. on YouTube. Before we go any further, before I answer all those burning questions that you guys sent me, I really want you to hit subscribe and hit that notifications bell down at the bottom. That way you know whenever I come out with a new video. Now, I told you it's every Friday at 6 p.m. It should be easy, but that bell's gonna make it a little bit easier, so why don't you go ahead and do that? And don't forget about the comment section. Comment section right below is there for you to start a conversation with me about whatever it is you'd like, whatever questions you want that I'm not answering here, whatever videos you'd like to see. Just go ahead and hit the comment section below. I answer all the comments, even the bots from Russia that have hit me up and been like, we like your video, please do another one about this and let's co-op together. That's my robot voice. And the arms also indicated the robotness. And now with the help of my trusty notepad, excuse me one second, I get my notepad. We're going to answer some of the frequently asked questions about the real estate market here in Kansas City. Now there's a couple other questions thrown in here, but this is good for anybody, whether you're a first-time home buyer, whether you're selling, whether you're buying, whether you're renting and thinking about buying or thinking about selling. I'm going to answer a lot of the questions that I get asked the most right here today. So stick around to the end because I bet you there's going to be some questions that you're going to want to know the answer to. So the first question is from Stephen H. in Olathe. Well, hello, Stephen. Thank you for writing. I love these questions, by the way. I've been getting so many questions, not only with the people that I talk to, my clients on a day-to-day basis, or prospective clients, but also you guys have been flooding me with so many calls, so many emails, and I love it, so keep them coming. All right, what is the first step in the home buying process, Ben? That comes from Stephen H., like I said. Well, Stephen, the first thing you need to do, and you did the right thing, was you reached out to me. That's the first thing you do. Reach out to a trusted real estate agent that you like. No, seriously. The first thing you need to do is you need to call a local mortgage representative, whether that's in the bank that you do business with, or if it's a bank locally that some friends have referred you to. I have a couple of banks that I can refer you to, but you're gonna have to call me or text me or email me or something like that. You know, that way they can take a dive into your finances. They can really dig deep to see what you can afford, how much you can afford because of all of your assets, the money that you make. They can really narrow it down and tell you exactly the scope, the price range that you're gonna be able to hunt for a house in. And then that's when you call me and I help you get that house of your dreams or the home of your dreams. It's the difference between house and home. I'll explain it later. Question number 2, how long does it take to buy a home? And that comes from Stephanie in Parkville. Well, Stephanie, that's a great question. From contract to closing, you're looking between 30 and 45 days. Typical contract. Some people say 30 days. I don't know about all that. The market is so saturated right now with loan applications, with mortgage underwriting, with everything like that, inspections, appraisals, everything that comes with the home buying process. Do not count on 30 days. Count on 45 from contract to close. Now, it could take obviously a lot longer because you're looking for a house, you're trying to find the right house, you're running all over town, the market's super competitive. Add a couple months onto that. Or sometimes it happens within a day. You see a house, you like it, and because you get all excited, you just bid on it. 30 to 45 days from contract to close. Great question though. All right, what is your favorite neighborhood in Kansas City? I did a video about this. It's called the top 5 most underrated, best neighborhoods all in Kansas City, whatever I titled it. It's here in my channel, but one of my favorite neighborhood is the Trucewood neighborhood. It's just and my neighbor. I live in the Manheim Park neighborhood, but Trucewood's awesome. Has a great view of the city. It is a really underrated place. You can still buy a really beautiful, awesome home, whether it's a ranch home, a colonial home, or a shirtwaist. You can still buy a home for a good price. It's centrally located to everywhere, and I would love to help you find a house in that area. So why don't you give me a call? Next question, what is your favorite part about living in Kansas City? That's a great question too. Not related to real estate necessarily, but I still appreciate the question, and that's from Brian. Thank you, Brian, and I appreciate all the kind words that you've given to me over email. My favorite part about living in Kansas City is the people in the community. I love the people here. I've explained in another video that I did right here on Wrestling with Real Estate. You're gonna have to wait till the end probably, and a little thing will pop up and you click on that video. If it's my video, if it's someone else's, don't even bother. My favorite part is about, the community. The people here are very kind. There's a lot of people that really care about Kansas City and all the communities that are wrapped up in it. And they just seem really connected and they care. It's just such a warm and endearing part about this city, much different from California. So that's what attracted me the most to Kansas City. Explain what type of market we are in, and that's from Mindy. All right, Mindy, what kind of market are we in right now? Easy question. We're in a seller's market right now. What does a seller's market mean? It means that there is not a lot of houses on the market. A lot of people are sitting, they're kind of scared. They don't know where to go, what's going on in the market right now, which is great, which is fine. But there's not a lot of sellers, not a lot of houses on the market. Inventory is really low, and there is a ton of buyers on the market. I mean, just a ton of buyers. With how low the interest rates are, with everything, all the conditions on the market are prime for a seller's market. So unfortunately, if you're a buyer, you're going to be competing with a lot of different offers. You're going to be paying over asking on most deals, depending on the neighborhood. It is very competitive for buyers, but sellers are raking in the profits. So right now we are in a seller's market. Next question is, what do you use in your hair, Ben? Well, I have gotten some comments about my hair because it's an interesting, kind of pompadour thing going on here. I'm 40 years old, so I'm proud that I'm not losing my hair, which is a good thing. But I use Broadway pomade in my hair, and that's all I'm gonna say about it, but I thought it'd be a fun question to throw in there. The next question is, if I'm buying a home, how much do I pay you? It's a great question. It's something that I get asked a lot when I get calls into Better Homes and Garden. Bing. Better Homes and Garden. That's the brokerage I work for. When I get calls into that company and they ask, how much do I owe you when I'm buying a home? The simple short answer is usually, if you're buying a home, nothing, because a little known fact, a lot of people don't understand that the seller side of it, the person actually selling their home, pays for both my commission and the other side of the commission. All 6% usually comes from the seller side. Now, that doesn't mean you're not going to incur some costs, and obviously closing costs and things that all can be negotiated, but paying me 98% of the time through the seller. Ben, how much do I need for a down payment? And this comes from Candace of Overland Park. Great question, Candace. How much do you need for a down payment? The national average for a down payment is $11,000. However, you need to get anywhere between 3 to 10 to 20% of the sales price of the house. So again, the national average is $11,000, but that doesn't mean that you need that much money. I got into my house personally with $5,500. So I think it was $5,500. But anyways, we did an FHA loan. So it all depends on the type of loan you're going to get, how much you need to put down. So call your local mortgage representative and they will be able to help you with different types of programs that we have, especially in the less invested areas of Kansas City. We tend to have really good programs for grants and loans and things like that. There's even a conventional loan program out right now that has the down payment structure of an FHA. Ben, what does my credit need to be to purchase a house? That's a great question, and another question that should be handled by a mortgage representative, but I can tell you it is usually about 620. They did relax restrictions, and it all depends on the federal government, but they did relax restrictions a while ago to where you only had to have a 570, but I think that has gone back up. So just count on having a credit score of 620 or greater to purchase a home. What kind of music do you listen to, Ben? Oh, thank you. And that's from Stuart from Kansas City, Missouri. Well, Stuart, I listen to a lot of different types of music. I listen to punk, I listen to heavy metal, I listen to jazz. I'm kind of all over the place. I even listen to some hip hop now and then, 90s hip hop, because I grew up in the 90s. But the music I listen to most right now is country music. I listen to a ton of country music. My favorite artist right now, my favorite album of the year so far is Charlie Crockett. Go look up Charlie Crockett. He is amazing. That's what I listen to. I listen to country music. Again, I know it's not about real estate, but I mean, don't you want to get to know a little bit about me? Now, the next question is kind of off the beaten path a little bit too, not necessarily about real estate, but I thought it was an interesting question, and it's from Kelly from Olathe, and Kelly asks, what is wrestling with real estate? Well, Kelly, long story short, when I moved here from California 3 years ago, I came here to be the broadcaster for a professional wrestling organization called the NWL. I was on every Saturday night on 38th The Spot, and I would introduce wrestling matches, and you would hear me call the wrestling matches on TV. Yes, much like the WWE, except a little smaller. So when that went out of business, I became a real estate agent. I am still involved in the wrestling business, not to the degree that I was because of COVID and other things. But here I am now selling real estate, and I love every second about it. But I love being a part of the wrestling business, I'll be honest. So that's where wrestling with real estate comes from. So good question. Thanks for asking. And to wrap this up for this week, the last question, and this is from Sean, and Sean is in Parkville. Should I buy or sell my house? Long story short is yes, you should do all of the above. You should both buy a house and you should sell your own. Actually, that's not necessarily the truth. You should definitely sell right now. Like I said, it's a seller's market. You're going to get a lot more money than you probably anticipated for your home, depending on where you're at. You're going to have people scrambling to get it. You're going to have, a bunch of, offers, and it's going to be great. And you're going to make a lot of money. The downside is if you don't sell right now, when the market does shift to a buyer's market, you're probably not going to make that much money. You might go ahead and tag about $20,000 to $30,000 off of what you could have sold it for right now. So get a hold of me if you want to sell your house. Now, if you want to buy, that's a little bit different. If you want to buy, it's a great time to buy. Interest rates are super low. And the Fed says they're going to keep them low. But at the same time, when it does become a buyer's market, you're going to see some of those houses drop in price, although there won't be as, there'll actually be more houses on the market. So you might get your pick of the litter and it won't be as competitive. So you might want to wait if you're a buyer. But those interest rates might go up. So you're going to have to decide, you want the lower interest rates and the more competitive market, or are you going to want the less competitive market and maybe higher interest rates? Nobody has a crystal ball. Nobody can predict what's going to happen. That is just my opinion. Either way, what you need to do is send me a text message. Send me a text message. And send me an intergalactic messenger pigeon. That was a good Sean Connery, by the way. Area code 661-236-9055. Or you can message me on Facebook at Wrestling with Real Estate, or Instagram at Wrestling with Real Estate. And you can also email me, benmiller@kansascityhomes.com. We will see you next time right here on Wrestling with Real Estate, where you get all the information on what it's like to eat, breathe, sleep, drink, buy, and sell right here in Kansas City. We'll see you next time, brother.